Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, I got Coach Jerod. We strung the restring 0, and we strung the Wasbi from Toroline. Which one does Coach Jerod like more, and why? Does he like one more? Stay tuned. All right, so Coach Jerod's 2 blades are here. One is with restring 0 in the 16 gauge, because that's what you like. Mm-hmm. This Wasbi from Toroline only comes in 1 gauge, and it's a 17 gauge. So what did you think of these strings when you were stringing them? What did you feel compared to what you normally use?
Yeah, so traditionally these days I've been using Solinco strings, and I've been gravitating between Tour Bites and I'd say Hyper G, mostly just because I'm trying to gravitate towards that softer Solinco string, which is at the moment Hyper G. I will say they're not the easiest strings to string in terms of using Solinco strings, just because they're kind of, they have a lot of, I'd kind of just say like texture on it, so it's hard to kind of just put it through the racket, especially on the crosses. Both of these strings were super easy to string. So surprisingly, with 16 gauge strings, I tend to get a lot of cuts on my fingers and kind of blisters and stuff, because obviously you're putting it through the racket. This one just glided through the machine very easily. Oh. And then with 17 gauge string, it's traditionally pretty easy to string. I'd say it's a lot easier than 16 gauge per se. But also there are some 17 gauge strings out there that are tough to string, but Toroline on the other hand was also very easy. So I think it's probably because both of these strings also have a very slick coating on it, which probably makes it easy to string the racket. But overall, I was pretty pleasantly surprised with how these were on the stringing machine, and my fingers definitely appreciate it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were easy to string. Mm-hmm. So both pluses for Toroline and restring. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we got the dampeners in.
Yep.
You use the Sky's dampener, which is the ultimate in dampening. The Road to Pro dampeners, which Sky's invention here, which is the ultimate dampener. I guess you have a little arm problem, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
All right, let's test out these strings.
Let's do it.
All right, Coach Jerod, what'd you think? Restring versus Wasbi.
Yeah, so let's start off with Restring Zero. So this is a 6-sided, I guess, edged polyester. I would say I was very happy with this string. So most strings that I'm looking for these days usually have to have some sort of control at the same time. Got to give me some action on the shot. So usually when I'm looking for strings, it's probably, more of so the dead feeling ones, kind of like not really tour bite per se, but like kind of a tour bite-ish string that has a lot of texture on the string and gives you a lot of action and bite on the ball. Restring Zero definitely was something I really haven't tried before. So the first thing you can notice is also the really slick coating on the string. Very similar to like RPM Blast or maybe like a Poly Tour Pro from Yonex. So this has like really good snapback. So definitely you can tell that the string definitely stays in place, which offers a lot of consistency. And at the same time, the string itself is very lively, but at the same time it's not uncontrollable. So when I was kind of hitting this stick, it was more so of me trying to see how much spin and action I can get on the shot. And this thing provided a lot of both, which is great. At the same time, ball pocketing was amazing. String tension is also good. Usually with me, I usually tend to break strings really fast, and Harry knows that too. So this is at least probably the 4th or 5th hitting session that I've had with this string, and so far the tension maintenance has held up pretty well. But yeah, overall, Restring Zero, plus for me. So now if you move over to Toroline Wasabi, the only knock I have to have with this string is if it's called the Wasabi, you guys should have made it green, but I'm okay with that.
They make a green one.
They do make a green one. Okay, so they do make a green one. So that's a plus back on that one. So Toroline Pro, I would say with most 17 gauge strings, I usually tend to gravitate away from those types of strings, mostly because I can't control it. So I kind of need a 16 gauge string to help me dial the shot in. But with Toroline, this actually has a very good blend of also power and control. So I actually got a lot of action with this string. The string bed is also very good with ball pocketing. I'd say I was definitely not hesitant to hit any of my shots, which is great. Serves with this thing were amazing. So again, with 17 gauge, a lot thinner string. So just, be careful with it in terms of trying to string it too low. I probably wouldn't go below your standard tension by like a couple of pounds. But man, Toroline Wasabi, another winner for me. And one thing I got to say about both of these companies is they've definitely done a great job in research. So I know that most companies and most string brands out there, when they're new, they kind of just take their label and slap it onto an existing string. And I think Toroline and Restring have done both a great job of kind of putting the research in, figuring out what works for the players, and both of their products are really good. So I got nothing bad to say about both of these strings.
Would you say that these are both of these are two of the best strings you've ever played with?
Yes, I will say that. So the first hit with both of these things, I just, whenever I'm looking for a string, I'm always looking for that first shot. And if it feels connected, I love it. And so far for both of these strings, I feel like I've stayed connected on every single shot. So you can't go wrong with either or. And I don't think I have a favorite between the two. I think the hardest thing for me is trying to figure out which string I want to use when I'm kind of playing match play or a tournament or something. So I think that'll probably be the hardest choice at the moment. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach Jerod has never said something like that before. And
Yep.
and we're doing it on two same occasions now with two separate strings. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I get you. I understand what you're saying about this one. I understand what you're saying about this one too. I do like both in their own particular ways.
Yep.
They both actually hold up really well in tension maintenance and snap back and comfort.
Exactly. Guys, with these two strings, I'd say I haven't really hit a soft poly like these in a while. The only string that comes close to both of these in terms of comfort for me personally is probably Poly Tour Pro, but that string dies really fast. So for me, I usually lose tension in about like a day or two.
Hour and a half.
Or that too. Harry's just being, I was trying to be nice about it, but these strings so far have held up very well with tension maintenance, and I definitely don't feel any, lack of performance from either string, which is amazing. So Toroline and Restring, I think, are doing an amazing job with both of their products.
Wow, so two big winners from Coach Jerod here. Restring Zero and
Toroline Wasabi.
Wasabi. All right. Thank you, Coach Jerod, for doing this play test with me today.
Mm-hmm.
Where can they find you, buddy?
You guys can find me on Instagram at MaTennis.
All right. And he's really active on that, so definitely do follow him, guys. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Practice anytime, day or night, 24/7, 365 with Fast Track Tennis. Get your Fast Track Tennis today and get 10% off with Tennis Spin. Link is below. And get your tennis on the fast track.